Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Snook, and I'm going to review factoring with you. So let's just get started. We're going to factor completely. Our first one, we have 6v plus 60. There's a GCF in here, which is 6. So pull that 6 out, and then you get a v plus 10. So this is a simple GCF factoring. Now take a look at our next one. This time we have 8x squared plus 48x. So think about your GCF. When I look at the numbers, I see 8 and 48. So I know I can pull out an 8. But check out the variables. I have an x squared and an x. So that means I can pull one x out of both of those. And I'm left with 8x squared. Pull out an 8x, that leaves me with 1x. Now 48x, pull out an 8x, and you're going to get a positive 6. And that one's done. Take a look at this one, x squared minus 16. So you've got a square term, you have a negative, but you don't have another x term. There's no linear term in here. But 16 is a perfect square. So there is difference of two squares. Which is what you have here. You know it by your first term is a perfect square, your second term is a perfect square, and then you have a negative in there. As soon as you see that, put down 2 sets of parentheses. Take the square root of the first term, in this case that's x, and then take the square root of your second term, 16. That's 4, 4. One of them plus, one minus. And that one's done. Now what if we combine that, a difference of two squares, along with pulling out a GCF? Here's what happens. So I have a 3x squared and a minus 75. First thing you always look for is a GCF, which I see a 3. So I pull a 3 out, I get x squared minus 25. This right here is a difference of two squares, because I've got an x squared, I've got a 25, and a minus. So keep your 3, but this time, in our parentheses, we're going to do x plus 5 and x minus 5. All right, here's another one. So now we have trinomials that we're going to look at. We've got an x squared term, we have a linear term, the 7x, and we have a constant, the 12. And when you see a trinomial, meaning 3 terms, and you've got an x squared, immediately put down 2 parentheses, put down an x and an x. And now what we need to do is we need to figure out a number which multiplied together gives us 12. Because what's going to happen is that number is going to go in here. We're going to get a 12 by multiplying these two together. So let's get our factors of 12. And just write down the first factor you can think of. So I do 1 and 12. Don't forget 1. And then we have 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Now stop here because your next factor will be 4 and 3. So this is where it starts to duplicate. So you know that you've written down all the factors of 12. These factors of 12 are going to have the same sign because I've got a positive here. So a negative times a negative equals a positive, or a positive times a positive equals a positive. Now to decide which we have, look at this sign. That one's a positive. So then both of my signs are positives. And I'm looking for the factors of 12 that add to 7. Well, that's 3 plus 4 right here. So 3 plus 4. That one's done. This next one, same thing. Put down your 2 sets of parentheses. Put down x and x. Now look at that last sign. That's a negative. The only way you get a negative there is if one is positive and one is negative. So put a plus and a minus. One positive, one negative. Now factors of 60, they're going to have opposite signs, and they're going to add to 7. So 60, 1 and 60, 2, 30, 3, 10. I can stop right here because I notice if I use opposite signs on 3 and 10, I'm going to get a 7. So now I need to figure out, do I want to use a -3 and a +10, or a +3 and a -10? Check this sign here. I want a -7. That's this one. So the 10 is going to go with the negative, and the 3 goes with the positive, and that one's done. Okay. Take a look at this next one. Now I have a leading coefficient there. I have that 6. So I can't use this quick and simple factoring. So first thing I try to do is, can I pull that 6 out? Because if I can use my quick and simple. But I can't because of that 7. So not going to be able to pull it out. This type has different methods to it. Some teachers use guess and check. Some teachers teach by grouping. And some do slip and slide. I like slip and slide. So I'm going to show you that method. You may not have seen it done this way before, and that's okay. So slip and slide. The way this works is we have 4 steps. First one is slip. Second step is slide. Third is divide. And then last is bottoms up. Slip, slide, divide, bottoms up. Okay. Here's the slip. First thing is the slip. Take that 6, multiply it by the 2. And I'm slipping it over there, so it's not going to be in front of x squared anymore. So x squared plus 7x multiply plus 12. Now note, this new trinomial is not equivalent to what we started with. So we're going to have to undo what we did at the end. And we're going to do that when we hit to divide and bottoms up. Okay? But since I've moved that 6 over, I now have a simple trinomial that I can factor. In fact, it's the same one we did above, x plus 3 and x plus 4. So factor this just like you would normally. Okay? Now we're going to do the slide. The slide starts to undo our slip. So slide means I slipped that 6, so now I'm going to slide the 6, and I put it underneath those constants. If this isn't making sense to you, that's okay. Just trust the process, it works. Next is divide, or simplify. So I have an x plus 3 over 6. The 3 over 6 reduces to 1/2, so I get x plus 1/2. My x plus 4 over 6, that reduces to x plus 2 over 3. Now, if when you do the divide, if you end up with a whole number, that's fine, just leave it alone. However, if you end up with fractions like I did, we're going to do what's called bottoms up. Take the bottom, the denominator, and slide it in front. Take the denominator, slide in front. So 2x plus 1. My 2 slid in front, and that just left the 1. 3x plus 2. The 3 slid in front, and that just left the 2. That is the factors of our original, right up here. Slip, slide, divide, bottoms up. Let's do another one. All right, this time I have a -6x squared minus 9x plus 60. Anytime you have a negative, please factor that out. So I want to pull out this negative. So I'm going to get 6x squared plus 9x minus 60. I factor that out because trying to factor with a negative in my first term is really, really difficult. So just factor that out. And now we're going to focus on just what's inside the parentheses. Notice I have a 6 and a 9 and a 60. I can pull a 3 out of all of those. So anytime you can pull a GCF out, pull it out. It will make your life easier. So now I'm going to have a negative 3, 2x squared plus 3x minus 20. Slip and slide. Again, just focus on what's inside. So I'm going to do slip and slide just on the inside here. So negative 3 carries down. Slip the 2. I get x squared plus 3x minus 40. All right, factor like normal. We're going to factor this one like normal. So carry down your negative 3. Never forget it. Factors of 40, opposite signs. Add to 3. 1 and 40, 2, 20, 3 doesn't work, 4 and 10, 5 and 8. There we go. That's what I want. Now I need to just figure out, am I going to do a positive 5 and negative 8 or a positive 8 and negative 5? Check this sign. That's a plus. That means my bigger one, the 8, is going to be positive. So plus 8 minus 5. Okay, now we've done the slip. Time to slide. I slipped a 2, so I'm going to slide my 2. Next is divide. So here I get a whole number, I get 4, because 8 over 2 is 4. Okay, so I was able to completely reduce that one. I'm going to leave the x plus 4 alone. Bottoms up. So negative 3, x plus 4 times 2x minus 5. And that's your factor. All right. Got some more. So now check this one out. I've got an x cubed plus 2x squared plus x. First thing you should look for is a GCF. I see an x as a GCF, so pull that out. X squared plus 2x plus 1. Factor what's inside the parentheses like normal. X, x. Factors of 1 that add to 2. Notice that's a perfect square. That one's done. Take a look at this one. X to the 4th minus 36x squared. I see a GCF. Factor that out. That's x squared. X squared minus 36. Now I see a difference of 2 squares. I've got an x squared, I've got a minus, and I've got a 36, which is also a perfect square. So factor that. X plus, x minus, square root of the first term, square root of your second term. Make sure one's plus and one's minus. That one's done. See what we're doing? We're combining different techniques. Okay, take a look at this one. We have an x cubed plus x squared minus x minus 1. This one you want to factor by grouping. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this in groups. I'm going to take my first 2 terms, I'm going to make them a group, and my second 2 terms are going to be a group. Pull out a GCF in just the first group. So don't pay attention to second group right now, just look at your first group. And we have an x cubed plus x squared. GCF is x squared. Pull that out, I get an x plus 1. Second group, I have a negative x minus 1. Pull out the negative, please. I get x plus 1. Check this out. Those two are same. that means that those two are a factor. So x plus 1 is a factor. The rest of the stuff is the other factor. So this x squared and that minus 1 makes the other factor. Now look, can I still factor? Yes, I can. I have the difference of two squares. Keep your x plus 1. Square root of your second term is just 1. 1 plus, 1 minus. That one's done. 3 factors. It's a cubic. All right, here's another one. We've got a cubic here. Factor by grouping. I don't have a GCF, so I can't pull one out. So I'm going to go straight into grouping. Here's my first group, x cubed minus 3x squared. Pull out an x squared, and I get x minus 3. Go to your second group. The GCF there is 5. Pull out a 5, and I get x minus 3. Now I need to check, are they the same? Look at that. They're same. So x minus 3 is one of your factors. The stuff left over is the other factor. Here's one factor. Now check your square term, x squared plus 5. That can't be factored. So we are done. Our answer is just this. We just have 2 factors. One's linear, the other's quadratic. All right, that's it for today's lesson. Thank you for watching and have a great day.